I'm the Scrub and you're here for one reason. Welcome to Stormblood, or as I'm going to call it,
oh my god, Lise, just shut up!
the expansion. So we're traveling to the Far East and it's going to take 46 business days to get there. Luckily, I know a shortcut. Just a minor inconvenience of a small dungeon with a mysterious force at its center. No big deal. It'll be 20 minutes. In and out. Time to learn about the Sirensong Sea. Simplified. Approach the 3 enemies and more will jump out on both sides of the ship. Kill everything and 4 more enemies will jump out of the water. Kill everything and the ship will run into land. Ships are notorious for stopping dead in their tracks and continuing to float when hitting a sheer rock face. Make your way off the ship and down to the first lot of enemies. If you're with the duty support system, I'd recommend single pulls for the entire dungeon. But if you're with the competent party, and I use emphasis on the word competent, Lise, you can pull this group and the following group together. Watch out for the Scorpion's cast of Tail Screw. If you get hit by this AoE, it will give you an assumerable slow debuff. Avoid the rest of the AoEs and kill everything. First boss time. It will turn to a random party member and cast Amorphous Applause. This is a huge half-room cleave to the direction it's facing. If you get hit by this, it is a decent-sized knockback. Even if you're a ranged or magic DPS, I'd recommend being close to the boss in order to easily dodge when this attack is performed. Hydra Ball is a stack marker. Group up to share the damage. Sea Swallow's Orb will drag everyone into the middle of the room. It will then create a bunch of medium-sized AoEs around the arena. Just run to a safe zone where there isn't one to avoid getting hit. Overtow will push everyone out, which will be immediately followed up by a stack marker. Group up as best you can. The boss will only repeat these mechanics until it has been defeated. Head up the incline to drop down to the broken ships. Head across the ships, avoiding the lingering AoE fire puddles that are left on the ground. These will give you a burn debuff if you're standing in them. Continue on to the following ship and pull the next group of mobs. To avoid the rest of the lingering fire AoE puddles on this ship, you can either pull the mobs back to where the ship's connected or up the stairs to the back of the ship. Kill everything and then walk onto the ship covered in a blue aura. A bunch of fire AoEs will land on the ship. To avoid these fire AoEs, you can pull the enemies back up the stairs to the race section of where you boarded this ship. The larger skeletons move dark is interruptible if you don't feel like dodging it. Kill everything and the blue flame blocking your path will dissipate. Second boss time. He will move to the middle of the room and cast Shadow Flow. This will create 6 narrow safe zones. If you stand in the shadows for too long before getting to a safe zone, you'll get a stack of magic vuln for every tick you are in the shadow. Bloodburst is a room-wide AoE. Enter Night will target one random party member with a red marker over their head. This player will be pulled underneath the boss and get a shadow tethered to them. This player will need to run away from the shadow as fast as they can. You'll be hit with a magic vuln for every tick that you are connected to the boss after a certain time. As soon as you are far enough away, the tether will automatically break. Healers can also use rescue if they are standing far enough away to immediately break the tether. He will then move back into the middle of the room and cast Shadow Split. This will create clone shadows. As the boss casts Shadow Flow again, these shadows will fan out in the arena and be within the 6 narrow safe zones, either towards the wall or closer to the boss. These shadows will create an extra small AoE where they are standing, making that part of the safe zone now unsafe. You'll need to find a spot within the 6 narrow safe zones that doesn't have a shadow. It can be hard to spot at first as there are only 4 small safe zones, but try to look for where only one shadow is walking. Just quickly move to a spot where there isn't a shadow to avoid getting more magic vuln-ups. From here, the boss will repeat mechanics until it has been defeated. Exit out of the arena and enter the jail. First up is a hound and 3 captives. A little further down is an undead warden and more captives. The warden will cast March of the Dead, which is a hard-hitting, long conal AoE. Tanks will need to heavily mitigate if they pull everything here. Kill everything. Next up are 2 more hounds. I highly recommend if you're with a duty support system or not with a competent party to kill the 2 hounds here first. Continue around the corner to the blue bonfire. The bonfire will change into a fleshless captive. Every cast this mob will perform will be able to be interrupted. Dark is an AoE underneath a random party member. If the cast Seductive Scream finishes, every player will be hit with the debuff Seduce, which will cause everyone to lose control of their characters and move towards the center of the mob's hitbox. This is the cast that you will need to interrupt. Right after this, the mob will cast Flood. This is a hard-hitting AoE from the mob's position. When the mob is defeated, the door will open and it's final boss time. Virgin Tears will create a number of large blue AoEs around the arena. You will get a bleeding debuff if you are in these AoEs. The boss will then cast Morbid Advance or Morbid Retreat. Either way, you will lose control of your character. If the cast said Advance, you'll be forced to march in whichever direction you are facing when the cast completes. If the cast said Retreat, you'll be forced to march in the opposite direction you are facing when the cast completes. For these opening casts, I normally just stand facing or having my back to a wall for whether it says Advance or Retreat respectively. Somber Melody is a room-wide AoE. Headbutt is an untelegraphed tank buster. After the 3rd time the boss casts Virgin Tears, it will also create a blue bleeding AoE around the outside of the arena. It will then cast Advance or Retreat again. I normally stand in the middle facing an open path towards a wall. If it says Advance, I'll just keep attacking and be forced to move forward and remain safe. If it says Retreat, I'll just turn my character completely around so I'll still move in the same direction and be safe. After everyone is finished moving, the boss will cast Void Water 3, which will put an AoE underneath a random party member. It is a hard-hitting AoE if you're standing in it when it goes off. Lorelei will repeat mechanics until it has been defeated. Congratulations, you have beaten the Sirensong Sea. My name is the Scrub. Thank you for watching.